Welcome to another episode of Straight from the Heart. We are so blessed today that we're going to be talking about trucking. We're going to be talking about CDL license. We're going to be talking to an entrepreneur who has a passion and a heart for community. This man has created a school to not only employ or educate young people in the world of CDL, but also helping those who are returning citizens from prison sentences. He has made partnerships across the city, and he is a member of the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce. So we thought it would be great to have Mr. Harold William Fears on our show. He has a company called Aries CDL Institute, meaning school. All right. So Harold, I want to say welcome to Straight from the Heart. And it's interesting because you and I have had a lot of conversations and we've talked a lot about what you do and what your hopes are. I really want to start out so people will get to know you, because one of the things that you were talking about was exposure. We know that you have a passion and that you've done some things and you made some partnerships, but we want people to know who you are. Are you a Kansas Citian?
First, let me say thank you for having me. It's an honor. But no, I'm a native Cleveland, Ohio, from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Born and raised.
And so we got us an Ohio man in the house. And you moved here how long ago?
In 89.
In 89. So technically, you have become a Kansas Citian.
Yes.
Okay, so and I asked you earlier if you had your CDL license, and you said yes.
Yes, I had my CDL license since December of 09.
Okay, and what encouraged you or gave you this idea that we needed an institute?
Well, I have a bad habit of always wanting to move to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Since I got my CDL license and I ran into truck owners, I'm like, I want to be a truck owner too.
Okay.
So I went to work. Actually, I started off at nursing school.
Wow.
And I met a guy there who was one of my friends, James Rogers, who was in nursing school with me. And one day he said, hey, I do want to be a nurse, but I could make more money doing trucking. So I went to work for James in his trucking. Once we got out of nursing school, I went to work for him. And I started off in the back office because I didn't have a whole lot of driving experience. And so I solved a whole lot of problems, and he had a huge not FedEx, but an Amazon contract.
Okay.
I solved a lot of problems. I met with the leadership solving problems, and he came to me one day and said, hey, you can do this. And when he said that, I just started putting the pieces in place. And he said one day that we're going to have an owners meeting and I want you to come. And I went there and I spoke to the guy that I usually deal with. And I told him, hey, I want to get my own contract. He said, go ahead over and talk to my boss. I went and talked to his boss. His boss said, hey, if George said is okay with it, sure. And within a week, I had a contract.
Wow. So
I had no trucks. I had
no trucks.
No trucks.
But you had contract.
I had a contract, no trucks and no drivers.
And no drivers. So, but this is the interesting thing about this story so far. And this is something that we have to do better. Here was someone that was already being successful. And he didn't even have to open that door for you. You didn't say anything to him. He came to you and said, you can do this.
Yes.
And then he said, I'm going to introduce you to my people.
Yes.
So I'm going to open the door for you. And then he opened the door for you, who opened the door to his boss, who said, because he has opened this door, I'm going to give you this opportunity with no trucks and no driver.
Yes.
Interesting. So let me add. I'm going to continue to add. So now you're doing basically the same thing on a different scale. You're
Yes.
you're not hoarding the opportunity. You're opening the door for others to come in and basically get their CDL license and possibly start their own trucking service or business because someone gave you an opportunity.
We have a program called the Aries Promise. If you attend our school, and I go out on the yard from time to time, and you can move the truck around, and I get weekly updates on progress from my instructors, and you have some business acumen or some, I call it G2, we will help you find a truck. We're not going to lease the truck to you
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you go get your truck, you work your truck, you
Ownership.
get your own money. I
Ownership.
don't want anybody to be beholden to me, and I don't want to be really responsible for your success or failure.
Right.
So I'll help you find a truck. I'll help you find insurance. I'll help you find loads. I'll help you, one, get an Amazon contract because I know how to get one. And I had a FedEx contract also. And I'll show you the way to get a FedEx contract. It costs me nothing to share what I have with other people. I have a rule. I have a saying in life. God takes care of children and fools.
Hmm.
I'm 62 years old. I am not a child.
Mhm.
I've been very fortunate in my life and very lucky to have people come in at crucial points in time in my life and steer me the right way.
Yeah.
So I believe that it's only right and fair, and I have an obligation to do the same that people have done for me.
You know, it's interesting that when we started, when I started with the chamber, and we started with even this idea of the show. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is how do we rebuild our village? And part of the village was taking our God given talents and our God given treasures and our God given time and putting it together with one another to push the next person up. And when I hear people like you who are doing it, you're out here trying to find ways to make this happen. Here's a man that got his first contract with no trucks, no driver, and God has blessed you to continue to grow and grow to a point where now you have opened an institute to train, and you and I talked about some of the partnerships that you garnered. Can you tell us about some of those partnerships?
We have partnerships with Catholic Charities. We're a provider for workforce partnerships. We're a provider for Kansas and Missouri voc rehab. And we have partnerships with the Community Action Agency of Greater Kansas City to provide. We not only provide training, we actually try to go out and find funding for training. Our niche market is not Joe America. We target low income and justice impacted individuals.
Wow.
So they
Yeah.
usually have issues in their home lives. They have issues with money, and they want to do something that's short term. They want a short term education with a high yield
Yield.
revenue.
Yeah.
And that's what CDL does.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a high school diploma. You don't have to have a GED. You have to be at least 18, be able to pass a drug test and a physical.
Mm.
That's it. For 4 to 6 weeks, you come out starting at $50 to $70,000.
Wow.
Within a year, you can be either close to 100 or at $100,000. After a year, you're in the 120, 150. And I talk to a lot of highly educated people, masters, PhDs, 4 years of college, they came out making 40 or 50
Yeah.
after 4 years. They
Yeah.
went to school for 2 more years, 80,000.
Yeah.
Then they go to school for 2 more years and they top out at $150,000.
Wow.
I had a FedEx contract. I have an associate's degree in general science. That FedEx contract at the end was bringing in $4 million a year. So you have a young black man
Mm-hmm.
with a high school diploma and an associate's degree making $4 million a year.
Wow.
So it depends on what
So
you want to do.
So, in the earlier show today, I was speaking with Shauna Edwards, and I'm going to utilize something we talked about. We were talking about athletes and entertainers and how our young people are really focused on those careers, but it's a very small fraction who really actually make it in those areas. And a lot of athletes that are um, NBA or NBA or um, NFL or MLB, they're not in the $1 million range a year. Some of them are making 80,000, some are making 600, 700,000, but and then their careers are going to end too. A young man with no uh, bachelor's degree, high school diploma, an associate's degree, and a CDL license, and you ended your contract at $4 million a year. That is a better opportunity and better numbers for someone to be successful, especially in these underserved communities where you have young people working 2 and 3 jobs to feed their families and to have a decent house, or even to have a house. Uh, I'm just amazed. And then, I really want to touch base on those who have been touched by the justice system. Uh, it is hard for people that have never been in any situations to get good employment, but it's even harder when you come from the justice system and you're trying to reacclimate yourself into the workforce and get a decent job. This opportunity affords them a chance to really uh, restructure their lives uh, and find a way to live comfortably in society. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Because we've been sold this dream: go to high school, go to college. That's a trap. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
I sat in a room a few months ago and they asked all of us they have a college tour, which is great.
Yeah.
They take inner city children from regular high schools and they take them on a college tour. Here's the thing. Some of the kids can't even afford the $650 to go on the trip.
Yeah.
If you can't afford $650 to go on the trip, how are you going to afford
For
college?
Yeah.
So, and again, me being a black sheep and me speaking my mind, when I say that in a room full of college educated men, you get pushback.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Vocation is the key. You can take your CDL license just like a nursing license, and you can leave here today and be employed tomorrow in Alabama or Oregon or North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that simple. And the felony doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
We're told that we need to get traditional jobs. We need to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant. That's not for everybody.
Right.
I can count to 10 good. I failed algebra in high school twice, but that didn't stop me from being successful.
Yes.
Because I chose opportunity where I could be successful. Did I want to be a lawyer? I think I would be a great lawyer. But you know what? Me and my youth running around wild, You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand the value of college, so I wasn't looking for that.
Right.
I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. I met a man who was said, "Hey, come over here. Let me show you how to do this." And you know what? I was humble enough to stop, listen, and learn.
You know, and you used the magic word, humble. How do we how do we how do we get our young people to understand that being humble is not weak? Being humble is actually a strength that will take you a lot further than attitude and that brute strength, that cocky.
I guess it comes from parents. My mother and father told me all the tough guys and all the bad guys was in the cemetery.
Mm,
So you can step on my shoes. I don't care if they brand new or cost $5 or $500. I'm gonna say I'm sorry because I get to keep moving.
right.
I'm not gonna fight you over a pair of shoes. I'm not gonna lose my life or my freedom over a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
When Jordan is a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So it was taught to me at a young age. I'm quick to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because I can say I'm sorry tomorrow
Yeah.
and keep on moving. I can say sorry next week and keep on moving.
Yeah.
I could get mad and lose my life in 5 minutes.
And it's over.
And it's over.
Yeah.
Or I can get mad and lose my freedom for 15 or 20 years in a matter of a split second.
Yeah.
So I'm from the inner city. Fighting in the street, it don't make you tough.
No. No.
It don't make you tough.
It does not. And we don't fight anymore. We just shoot.
That's right.
In my generation and probably your generation, it was a fight.
Yes.
And the person you fought became one of your friends later. But today they don't even give the opportunity to say I'm sorry or to become friends.
It's just a different breed. It takes toughness to go out there and fight. It take a matter of a second of indecision to pull a trigger, and it change your life for multiple years, decades.
Yeah.
So,
and you're not only affecting your life, but you're affecting the other person's life, and then everybody around both lives.
Yes,
you've affected every single person.
I was in St. Joe, Missouri. I pulled into the truck stop. I pulled around the guy. I had my daughter with me. He flipped me the bird. My daughter looked at me and said, "What you gonna do, Daddy?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "Ramaya, if I get out there and fight that man and I kill him, I'm going to jail. That load in the truck is stuck here and you stuck here. He killed me. The truck's still here. The load's still here.
And
you still here."
Yeah.
I said, "I got to go in and pay for my fuel. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen in there." I paid my fuel. I went back. I stood right behind the man. He said nothing to me, and I said nothing to him. I'm down the road. I got my money. We as African American people, Americans, focus on the wrong thing. My daughter's mother called me one night. I'm in the FedEx yard. I'm getting ready to leave. She said, "Ramaya got in a car accident." I said, "Is she all right?" "Yeah." "Is she at home?" "Yeah." "Well, I'll see y'all when I get back from St. Louis. Because I'm not going to miss my money. Going home it's not going to help.
Yeah.
That's money out of our pocket." I went to St. Louis. I came back. She was fine. So we need to focus on the things that make us better and not focused on. Most people would have been like, "Hey, I got to go. I got to go home. My daughter was in an accident." Your daughter's fine. I could see if she was in an emergency room in a coma or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she was home. She was safe.
Fine.
Yeah.
I had a driver call me and said he was turning around because his sister was having a baby. I said, "If you turn my truck around, I'm going to fire you." He turned the truck around and I let him go. He called me the next day. I said, "I just want to ask you one question. would you have been able to get to where you needed to be and back before your sister had her baby? Yeah. What so you done threw away your job because not your wife, your sister is having a baby, and it wasn't no high risk
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
We don't have our priorities set.
We don't. We do not.
We don't have our priorities set straight. One of the things that I'm very excited about is how this organization and your organization will now start partnering on other levels. The workforce development in this city, or the development of workforce in this city, is crucial. We have large manufacturing that's getting ready to do a big total layoff because of robotics. There are new manufacturers coming in, but they're tech jobs. And the opportunity for those who are losing those jobs to come to a school, we want to be a part of identifying those opportunities and making sure that we um, make that pathway for you. And then also on the flip side, as an organization that deals with businesses and deals with uh, uh, corporations, being able to attach those jobs or those CDL drivers with opportunities as partners. What do you hope from us? What are you looking for from us?
As always, from a person like you, I'm looking for wisdom. I'm looking for guidance. I'm looking for exposure. Um, you've been helpful in the past. You have to know your audience. You're a real respected and well connected part of this community. That's what Aries needs. We have a great program.
Yes.
It's going to help a lot of people. We just need to let people know that the program is there.
Right.
We already had a shortage of drivers before they started this witch hunt for non-Americans.
Mm.
And it's truly a witch hunt. Those people have been driving for years. They took 1 or 2 accidents and made it. They turned it into a attack on people of color. People that are non-American.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting ready to get all of those people out the industry that there was already a shortage. So all that did was open up a pipeline
Mm-hmm.
for U.S. citizens to take those jobs.
Right.
And it's not a hard job. It just takes some discipline.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity, especially for low income and justice impacted people.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this. We just won a contract with the Kansas Department of Corrections. We're going into Lansing, and we're going to the women's facility in Topeka.
Yeah.
And train those individuals that are coming out of the system 18 to 12 months. So here's the key. They walk out the door with a license and ready to work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Just imagine we had a conversation about recidivism.
Mm-hmm.
That usually takes place in the first 30 to 60 days post incarceration.
Right.
Because they're trying to figure out how to manage the new system, how to get a job very quickly, and how to pay that restitution and probation.
Right.
You can't expect somebody that's been locked up for 15 years to walk out of here and get a job in 30 days. And when a highly trained person can't get a job in 30 days.
Absolutely.
It's just unrealistic. So the system is set you up. It's set up for failure.
Yeah.
So we contacted the Kansas Department of Corrections and said, hey, if you really want to attack recidivism, attack it day one. Let them walk out of prison with a job.
Right.
And that's what And that's what that's all about. They've been usually to do with the Department of Justice, it take 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The people in Lansing, they got it done in a year. It's a
Wow.
miracle.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
miracle. Again, God put me in the right place with the right people at the right time, and it all worked out. I'm about the luckiest man in the world.
That's you know what? And that is truly a blessing, not only for you though. It's for those who actually need you. It- you feel lucky, but just think about the people that you are going to be serving, that you the opportunities that you're going to put out there for somebody that, you know, if they're sitting in prison getting ready to get out and they really don't know, what am I going out here to? What am I going to have when I get out here? And then a lot of them come out and they have, and I don't like to use this word, but baby mamas or baby daddies or grandmothers and aunties who have taken care of their children if they have children. And their expectation is for you to get out and be able to contribute, which is very heavy for someone that that's uncertain about their future. So it kind of pushes you back into the life that you left because you're trying to meet all these obligations. But it's a blessing knowing that I'm going to come out and I could possibly come out making $50,000 a year. We're not even possibly I'm walking out the door. There's people that are trained that aren't making 30,000. There's people that you just
Yes,
said it
ma'am.
yourself. They get out of college and they're lucky if they're able to get a $40,000 a year job. So that is truly a blessing. And then are you doing anything with the schools? Because I think about there are places out in Kansas where tech schools where high schoolers are getting training while they're in high school and they're able to graduate with an associate's and a tech certification where they can go into, I think one of them was surveying and the other one was heavy equipment operating. But you're able to get out and go into a job without uh, debt, college debt, and have a skilled job.
The thing about CDL, you have to be the minimum age is 18.
Oh, okay.
So, but here's the thing. Let's not talk about CDL. Welders make great money.
Yeah.
Welders make great money.
Yeah, they do.
Um,
Surveyors.
Surveyors,
Mhm.
machinists.
Yeah.
We need to get out of this mindset of go to school, go to college.
Yeah.
These the middle class, General Motors, Ford, all those automobile companies, they changed the middle class.
Yeah.
They moved all of those people straight into the middle class because of the money they make.
Right.
Truck drivers make 6 figures. But it may be a low 6 figures, but it's still 6
Six
figures.
figures. Yeah.
For a person that done 15 years and within a year making 6 figures, how can you beat it?
Yeah.
And I tell people who got PhDs all the time, you spend 10 years in school, you make $150,000. I went to school for 4 weeks, I make $150. Who's a dummy?
Wow. That's a good question. Math ain't mathing.
The math is not mathing. And if
Yeah.
we keep shoving this, for everybody not built for college.
Yeah. And college, and let me back up and say college is, it is necessary for those who are uh, built for or who want to go to college and go into a profession that requires college credits. But to put the pressure on all students
Yes.
to think that if I fail to get accepted into college or I don't have a family that can pay for my tuition or I can't afford to go to college, that I'm a failure and I can't find anything better. You're right. We need to expose and open up the pathways to other options of jobs that make it sometimes more money than the college educated. So
That's
I have to agree with you there. Well, Mr. Fierce, I am getting close to time to shut this session down and to end our show. But I hate to, because what you're saying today is something that we need to talk about more often, and that is opportunity for a better quality life. We always talk about having livable wage jobs and being able to afford a house and being able to feed my family and have opportunities. And there are jobs out here that we can open up for people, especially our young people that are living in these underserved or underemployed um, areas, low income, and then also those who are returning from the justice system. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know it was last minute, and I thank you for always saying yes to me. If I call for you, you show up. You always
thank you.
show up.
I you got to be humble. You got to be respectful. You got to respect the wisdom. Th- There's another thing I say. I never want to be the smartest person in the room
Yeah,
because I
me either.
never learn anything.
Me either. That's right.
Um, do it backwards. If go to CDL school, go to welding school, go get a trade, then go to college.
Mm.
You can use that trade to pay for college, and you can work
Now
while you in college.
who got wisdom? Now that's some wisdom right there. You just dropped a nugget and a seed that's just got planted. Do it backwards.
Do it backwards. It's only 4 weeks. Do it. You could do that over the summer. Do it backwards. You in school. You come out. You 18. You get your CDL license. In the summer, you start college. You can drive on the weekend and make good money. You helping your parents. You don't have that. You lessen your college date. Having a vocation is Plan B. Corporate America lay you off. Okay, I'm cool. I go
Go
back to
back
driving
driving
the
a truck.
truck.
Yeah.
I go back to welding. I was making more money welding. I just wanted to sit in the office, but I was making more money welding.
Yeah. Yeah. You heard that, Kansas City. Coming to you straight from the heart. You've heard from Mr. Fierce, and we want to thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate the wisdom that you just laid out for us. I'm so glad that you came on the show. This won't be the last time I invite you to the show. As things unfold, we want to make sure that you know who Mr. Fierce and Aries uh, CDL is and where they are and how they can be found. If you could tell us, if someone's looking to get their CDL license, what do they need to do?
We have a website called it's www.acdli.org. Or you can call my personal cell phone, 913-526-1126. I'll be happy. I talk to everybody. I answer my phone up until midnight. So don't hesitate to call me. We'll get you set up. There's a enrollment link there. I'll even if you can't afford the school, we'll help you find funding. We'll point you in a
That was
direction.
my next question,
We'll
but
we'll
yeah,
help you find funding.
yeah,
And that's the difference between our school and other institutions. We know you have a problem, so we already have
a
the
solution.
solution for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You heard it here first on Straight from the Heart. If you want to uh, go to school, get your CDL, or if you just want to learn more about it, look at that number that's going to be scrolling at the bottom of our show. Write it down or go to the website. Utilize it. This is Straight from the Heart. Thank you again for joining us. I have to always end my show by thanking my production team, AGA, the greatest production team in Kansas City. They are here to serve and they do the best work. I love you guys. And Mr. Fierce, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to
Thank
make
you.
sure that we continue to open doors for our community. This is how we become impactful. This is how we move the needle. This is how we change how the urban core is seen. And we're not just talking in Kansas City or KCK, we're talking across the nation. Thank you again. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.